Hello, LinkedIn friends. This is Vivek Kuchiwatla from BFC Ideas, and today I'd like to talk about 5 uninvited guests that sabotage agency new business presentations. What are you really saying in an agency new business presentations? I've seen more presentations that I can count, and one thing consistently jumps out. Most presenters focus on the deck and basically ignore the delivery aspect. This is a problem. Over 90% of communication is nonverbal. So while the presenter is focusing on the deck, his delivery is probably communicating something else altogether, and in the process, sending exactly the wrong message to the prospect. So here are 5 typical delivery mistakes that are highly counterproductive and, unfortunately, ever present. I like to call them uninvited guests, and I've given each one a name. So let's go with the first one. The first one is the Backslapper, the yes man. This character was Larry Tate in Bewitched for you old people out there, and more recently it was portrayed more elegantly by early Pete Campbell in Mad Men. So the Backslapper is overly friendly. He laughs loudest at the client's jokes. He oversees the whining and dining aspect of it and generally seems to have no scruples. In the presentation, this role is often played by the managing director, who will say a few words at the beginning of the presentation and then hands the presentation over to the underlings. But he's always present, and he's already signaled to the prospect that there is no demand that he will not accede to. Our second guest is the professor. The name speaks for itself. This is typically the planner, the senior strategist who walks around with his hand on his jaw. He's buried in thought. He's saying deep things with big words. Whether he's understood or whether what he's saying is actually adding value to the business is beyond the point. His objective is to show how smart he is. And unfortunately, he comes across as a pompous BS artist. Be careful. Our third guest, I like to call him the Blissfully Unaware Sadist. This is typically a media person who throws up very complicated charts and explains them in excruciating detail. Or he spends way too much time showing how each single tool works. He has no ability to read the audience and is completely unaware that they've either completely checked out or are wildly uncomfortable. Sometimes the prospect will look over to the backslapper and signal that, hey, enough is enough. But the damage is done. The sadist is just too painful to deal with. Then there's the wild and crazy guy. This is typically the creative who, by the simple fact of being a creative, is exempted from all norms that apply to everyone else. This can go anywhere from personal grooming habits, wearing ripped skinny jeans and a provocative t-shirt, to cursing and saying something that is wildly inappropriate. To be fair, prospects often find this amusing, but they may have second thoughts in actually handing their business and their career over to this wild man. So this is a thin line that has to be handled very carefully. Our final character is the deer in the headlights. This is often the most junior person in the room. He's just racing through his charts and trying to make it all end quickly. His body is screaming that he's overmatched, he's panicking, and this is hardly the message that inspires confidence in the prospect. So avoid falling unconsciously into these stereotypes. Don't make these mistakes. Hire a good presentation skills trainer. Learn about delivery and do your best to come across as authentic, credible, and competent. It'll go a long way to show that you're better than your competitors, even if what's on the deck is similar. And that's what I have to say for today. If you'd like to learn more about our training programs for marketers or our training programs for agencies or how we can help marketers and agencies work together more efficiently, please visit www.bfcideas.com or drop me a line. Thank you, and I will talk to you soon.